Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Do you want to become insanely successful? Do you want to be the go-to guru in your industry? Do you want to be talked about for all the right reasons? For over 40 years, Kevin Harrington has helped people just like you become significant influencers. Now he's broken the process down in the Key Person of Influence roadmap, and it's yours for free. Just text KPI to him at 727-888-2100. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free step-by-step guide. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 to get the recognition you deserve and experience the success as the go-to voice everyone listens to in your industry today. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, direct response marketing expert, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be interviewing Raj Jana, the founder and chief brewer at JavaPresse Coffee Company, a brand that creates products to transform your favorite coffee ritual into an extraordinarily daily experience. Since launching in 2015, Raj has helped over 180,000 unique customers use coffee as a vehicle to achieve more daily fulfillment, growing the company over 10,000%. His company has done deals with Raj Jana of Shark Tank and been featured in Inc. magazine, USA Today, and several other media outlets for the impact achieved to date. JavaPresse is also an official partner with the Make-A-Wish Foundation in Central and South Texas. Raj is also the host of Stay Grounded, a weekly podcast that shares lessons from inspiring guests to help listeners achieve more fulfillment, success, and happiness in daily life. Raj, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be here, my man.
Awesome. Let's go back in time. What inspired you to start what other people might just unknowingly refer to as a coffee company?
So I used to be an engineer in my past life. And it actually didn't start off as a love of coffee. It started off as really, I wanted to just not be an engineer anymore. I wanted to go from the corporate life. I was attracted to the entrepreneurial spirit, the freedom that comes from being an entrepreneur. And so I started teaching myself how to sell products on the side. And in the beginning, I saw a market fit for coffee related products. So we started off with equipment. That was our first range of products that we launched. The first product we ever launched was a manual coffee grinder. And that's really what started the journey to coffee. It started off teaching myself to find and identify markets, and then finding products and creating products to fill those market demands. And then the coffee company and the mission and the brand sort of evolved over time. But when we first started, it wasn't a love of coffee as much as it was a love of freedom and wanting something bigger for myself.
Awesome. And it sounds like you've certainly achieved that.
Yeah, it's been one heck of a journey for sure. Launched in September of 2015. And I guess it's 3 years now. Yeah. So
happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been one heck of a ride. So I'm very grateful.
That is awesome. What do you like best about what you do?
So what I love about JavaPresse, and this was unintentional, but when we were first starting the company, I had we were selling a couple products here and there. I was working full time, and I had a very close mentor of mine who spent close to about 40 years at the same company. With about 3 months left until retirement, he had a heart attack and died. And I remember that experience really sort of changing the way that I thought about life in general. It changed the way I thought about what I was doing, what my business was doing, how we were delivering an impact. So in that moment, we sort of changed the mission of the company from wanting to just sell coffee products to wanting to help people use coffee to live happier lives, which then changed the entire customer experience that we delivered from top to bottom. So what I love most about what we do on a day-to-day basis with the company is we get to come up with incredibly fascinating ways of surprising customers, delighting customers, delivering amazing experiences, and then creating content and using the business as a vehicle to really infuse fulfillment into whether it's the customers we're working with or the partners we source our products from. I feel like there's just been a lot more intention put into every step of the business. And I think that's what makes going into the office a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It sounds like it. So for those of us who might be a little bit ignorant, so how have you transformed what most people, normally just a cup of coffee into such an amazing transformational vehicle?
Yeah. So it started off with the equipment, and all of our equipment's manual brewing process. That's really what we specialize in. We don't do any electric products. So our best-selling product is a manual coffee grinder. It literally takes close to about like 7 to 10 minutes to grind enough coffee for 1 cup. And that's by intentional design, because we always looked at it as a forced break from the madness. You can't check your emails. You can't really do anything with your fingers. You kind of have to just crank away. And so for me, it turned into a forced meditative break that when I was in the office, I would actually use that as my vehicle to sort of escape from the stress. I started brewing my coffee at work. I had a French press in my cubicle. And so it kind of turned into like a very ritualistic aspect for me. So what we really started doing was ritualizing an experience that people already use to almost escape the stresses of daily life. So most people start their days with coffee. And so what we did was we just kind of added the ritual aspect of what would be a normal, just hit a button and run kind of experience into a more slowed down moment to themselves. So that started with the equipment. So the equipment the equipment is intentionally designed to deliver an experience that forces you to get involved with your hands and get intentional. Now, the coffee, which we started sourcing and roasting about a year ago, we started creating coffees that were focused on infusing a lot of principles around mindfulness, gratitude, storytelling of the farmers, impact, and kind of infusing little micro moments of positivity into the ritual itself. So it started with the equipment, which created the container for us to play inside. And then once we had created a container and a discipline that our customers really enjoyed, we then started infusing that little micro moment with content. So we send out emails, like we have a chicken soup for the coffee lover's soul. That's kind of like our email theme. And so every morning when we know our customers are in that routine, we send a really positive email with a gratitude, mindfulness, maybe just a reminder, a quote that's thoughtful. And then the coffee itself is, like, as I mentioned, designed to sort of accentuate a lot of things that we take for granted, whether it be the stories of a farmer from across the world who seemingly has similar lives to us, just as on another side of the planet. So building connection, remembrance, gratitude, mindfulness. And then I have a podcast, Stay Grounded, which is all about inspiring people to live happy lives and intentional lives. And so essentially we created the container with the manual brewing products, and then we started filling the container with ideas, culture, and really just more products, or even methodologies that allowed people to infuse positivity into and to make that daily ritual something extraordinary.
That is beautiful. Because this is the Sharkpreneur podcast, tell us a little bit about the deal you have with Daymond John.
So we weren't on Shark Tank, and I get that question a lot. I actually ended up getting mentored by Daymond a couple of years ago. Actually, last year I won a mentorship with him, and he was doing his book launch for Rise and Grind, and we ended up buying a ton of his books, putting them in our coffee clubs, promoting him the entire month. He promoted us on his social media. It was like a really amazing experience. It was cool. I loved it because, one, I love Daymond. I think Daymond's just a fantastic entrepreneur and the definition, but it really gave us an opportunity to actually tell the story of an entrepreneur through the story of the farmer. And so we created this marketing campaign to promote Daymond's book and to be a part of that experience through our coffee club. And he loved it. I mean, I still have a video from him because he ended up, I think, winning the Wall Street Journal. He got on the list for that. And so that was really fun for me to be a part of that and to support Daymond in such a cool way, and for him to support us in such a cool way too.
That is awesome. Over 180,000 unique customers. How are you marketing?
So our primary channel that we started on was Amazon. And I still think Amazon's one of the best places to start a brand, a physical product brand, just because one, customers they're not bought into the brand name. They're bought into the product. So if the product has demand on the platform, you can sort of slip your way in with the right tactics, with the right marketing, with the right images and brand feel to get traction quickly, which creates cash flow. So that's what we did. We started kind of we found a niche, we got our way in. Once we started getting momentum, I started taking all the money. And since I worked full-time as an engineer, I never had to pay myself. So I just took all the profit, reinvested in great content, which then led to more SEO growth, which then led to us using other paid acquisition channels like Facebook or Google or anything. But Amazon, we essentially mastered one channel, took the profits from there, and then reinvested it into other channels, which now form a medium of customer acquisition for us. But everything's been digital. We haven't really done we haven't done any retail. We're in very few, maybe boutique shops. We've got influencers who love us, but for the most part, it's been direct to consumer, paid media acquisition. That's been our bread and butter for the past couple of years.
Awesome. Congratulations. Obviously, it's working really well. And you're a big believer in giving back. Talk about your relationship with Make-A-Wish.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I read a really good book by a mentor of mine. His name's Yannick Silver, and he's got an amazing
Evolved Enterprise.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Yannick and Evolved Enterprise. So I read the book, and it kind of changed the way I was looking at the company. That's when my mentor had passed, and it was like a really kind of heavy time for me. And so I wanted to do something, and I wanted to give back. So I started looking at different charities, and I remember running across Make-A-Wish, which was a weird kind of connection because we sell coffee and coffee products, but this is like helping kids. Like, what's the connection? But then I asked them, I was like, hey, can you send me a bunch of the wishes that these kids are asking for? I thought they were going to be like, I want to meet John Cena, or I want to go hang out with The Rock for a day, like what they see on TV. What it ended up being was almost 90% of the wishes we read were like, oh, I want to go to Disney World, or I want to have a party at Chuck E. Cheese with my friends, or I want like a bedroom makeover, like very simple requests. And that kind of floored me. I mean, these kids there are billionaires who are lining up to give these kids anything they want. And even in the face of that, all these kids want are meaningful memories with meaningful people and appreciating the little things. So for me, that was an important reminder in the capacity for all of us to appreciate and create moments of happiness, no matter where we are and what we have. And that tied in so well with the idea of using something as simple as a cup of coffee as a gateway to creating a more fulfilling life. So that was sort of the bridge that tied it together. And it's been great. I mean, we granted 4 wishes. We're granting 1 more in the next couple of weeks. And, I think donated over $35,000 to date to Make-A-Wish. And it's been a very fulfilling, it's been a cool part just because, I think one of the kids we granted a wish for went into remission, beat the disease. And it kind of is an amazing reminder of the capacity of joy to just heal the body. And if we can, and the fact that we're doing that on a micro scale with customers and then now on a macro scale with kids is another fun part of the job. Another reason.
Yeah, that is absolutely awesome. So you've got your online presence, you've got your social, you've got your podcast, you've got so many stories. What about a book?
In the making. I've got a lot going on right now.
Sounds like it.
And I think if we were going to invest in a book, I'd want it to be something that I put my heart and soul into. So until I get that window, I'm just having fun, man, enjoying life, giving back, and using business as a vehicle to make the world a little brighter than I found it. And
that is awesome. With all the success you've achieved, I mean, what's your biggest challenge now?
Man, now it's probably, we have scale. For me, it's removing myself entirely. Like, I want to be able to do more projects like the book and be more in almost a leadership position where I'm just inspiring my team. With so many different projects we have going on, from the podcast to the coffee company to the physical product line to, there's just so many things happening. We run a pretty lean team right now. I think we only have 6 people. 6 total people on the team. So very lean, and everybody's virtual. So I think creating that virtual culture is probably where I'm spending most of my time. Because it's one thing to create it in person, but then when you're miles away from people, how do you create a culture that permeates all digital boundaries and then, create a culture where people want to take on more responsibility so that we can all work on our things that make us uniquely us. So it's kind of where I'm at right now.
That is awesome. It sounds like you've built an incredible business and a following and a movement almost. With what else do you want to share that I didn't think to ask you?
Oh man. I don't know. I mean, to me, I think business is one of the most profound ways to experience transformative growth, whether it's personally, or even just seeing the impact you want to make. I mean, I think entrepreneurship is an incredible vehicle to create fulfillment, not only for you, but for people who don't know how to create fulfillment, whether it's their customers or it's team members or it's strategic partners or investors. It doesn't matter. I think that that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, is you get to kind of decide what your legacy means and how it's going to impact people, how it's going to impact yourself, and how you want to use this powerful vehicle to create change in both your realities and the lives of others. So if you're on the road to entrepreneurship, I commend you. Even if anything, I think that being an entrepreneur is one of the most, it's the biggest blessing I've ever been bestowed in my life. And I'm very grateful to be on this journey.
That is absolutely awesome. Raj, for our folks who want to learn more about what you're doing, about about the coffee, about the equipment, and about the podcast, where is the best place for them to go?
Yeah, sure. So you can go to javapresse.com. That's usually what you'll find, all coffee related stuff, the story, the products, everything you want there. If you want to check out the podcast, it's called Stay Grounded. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, everywhere. You can also go to rajjana.com. And you can get involved and learn more about I create a lot of content, and I give back as much as I can. So yeah, if any of those call to you, come by and say hello. And if anything I said on the show inspired, definitely reach out to me. I'm on Instagram as well and different social media channels. So
awesome. And that is JavaPresse, PRESSE.com. We'll put all the links in the show notes. Raj Jana of JavaPresse, thank you so much for joining us. What an inspiring story.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate you having me here.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.